Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Monday afternoon, March 8th. We're looking at the SPY ETS market profile here on Window Trader. And just like in the previous 10 trading days, the market giveth, the market takes away. As a day that looked like it was forming very nicely for the bulls, totally turns around in I period. Escape with my life on a huge call play in that time frame. I'll go over that later. We disrespect once again a lot of things that were going on with higher value. We ended up with overlapping a higher value, very good volume, but there's just no continuity. I said that this morning. No continuity, no follow through. If the market goes up, you're not getting the follow through. If it goes down, you're not getting the follow through. Everybody's now looking for the market probably to gap lower tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I had major issues with my platform this morning. I was not able to trade in A, B, or C, which cost me tremendously because I would have had some very nice trades in all three of those time frames. So I'm very upset about that. And waited 50 minutes on a phone call on hold to finally have them pick up, and then disconnected and never called back. Emails have not been answered. If these firms can't do what they are supposed to do, get out of the goddamn business. Because if you aren't working, what good are you? Plain and simple. Sorry about that, but I'm pretty ticked off. Russell does not go out with a price probe. They were 8 wide. We have the day's high, the day's low, and an afternoon rally high in K. Triple Qs, once again, acting the worst out of all the indices. The Dow hit a new high today. They don't have a trend day down, but they do go out with a price probe just like we do. They looked above Friday's high and almost came back and got Friday's low. So they are still having major issues. For us, we open at the top of the range. We had higher value for most of the day, ended up overlapping to higher late in the day. We go out with a price probe. We raised the POC twice, not once, twice, only never to get it again, and then 8 wide at G's low. Utterly amazing. As far as my trades today, we did get into, the price probe was accepted initially, then we got into it in A and B, but the single prints held until M period. They're gone. Where change took place still held, but we'll see tomorrow how that works out. So I would have taken a short in A period when A period got stretched out. Both sides, actually. I would have taken a long against the single prints. Never got that opportunity. I would have taken a short when we had stretched out. So those 2 trades I missed, I would have taken a short in C. And I was telling the room this is where I would be playing. Didn't look like we would have single prints that held. And then I would have taken a long in C against the one time framing up. None of those trades came to fruition because I couldn't. So my first trade was in D period when I took a short against C's high. I'm like, well, we didn't hold single prints. Maybe they're not as excited. Plus, we have those 2 weekly lows that are critical to me where we got rejected big time. February 8th and February 15th lows were rejected. So I took a short. Indeed, that worked out. Then I was looking for the afternoon pullback low, and I thought we had it in F. It turned out to be a beautiful long at the time. I went long 40 of the 384 calls. We had higher value. We had the POC that was raised. We were staying above the opening and Friday's high. It went back up, took them off, came back in. About 3 times I added on to it till I finally took it all off. Turned out to be a really nice trade. So even though I wasn't able to trade in A and C, I had good trades in D and F. Then I came along. Once buyers weren't getting a lot, I said, well, the market's really not that long, really. I said, yeah, we're being rejected at those weekly lows from the 8th and 15th of February. I said, but maybe we just push back, don't take out F's low, which I wasn't expecting, and then go and get them late in the day. So I said I would start along around, I think it was around D, C and D's low. And I did. I started with the 385 calls. About 20 or 30 of them started coming in. I'm like, I would be surprised if we take out F's low. At the time, half back was up there. Well, to make a long story short, I got long 305 of the 385 calls, and I was out a bunch. J opened, didn't take out eyes low. We started battling the opening. I'm like, okay, if we hold eyes low, if we get above the opening, maybe not much has changed. Maybe we go back up. I don't need to go back to POC. And luckily, and again, it was luckily, we did, as I was out a lot of money, started going up, started taking them off. I almost added another 100 at J's low, which would have been, at the time, it would have worked out beautifully. But net, I finally got out of everything, the rest of them, when we popped J's high and actually made money on the trade. Not a lot. For the risk I was in, it was horrible risk reward. But I got fortunate. And I was fortunate for that to happen. Because then you saw what happened the rest of the day as they came back in and then started one time frame. We had a reversal bar in K and then continued. I tried to get a put play right before the 355 algo. We popped up, never was able to get it, and then we flushed out and probed. So turned out to be a good day, but man, an aggravating day to say the least. Destinations for tomorrow. Price probe, L's low of 382.77. Then we have the afternoon rally high, which is K's high of 386.08, and then yesterday's high, or today's high, I should say, of 387.68. Right in between those two weekly lows. For the downside, we have today's low of 381.42. Then we have the afternoon pullback low of 387.92 from Friday. 372.64 daily low, 371.88 weekly low. So let me tell you something, folks. The way this market is absolutely not respecting any kind of continuity. If we take out J's low tomorrow, there's nothing, and I mean literally nothing between there and Friday's low. There really isn't. It's only a 6-wide POC. So buyers better hope that if we do take out today's low, we find some buyers that were there on Friday again. Otherwise, we could trade right to the bottom of our balance. Okay? And then on the charts, just going to show you the weekly and the daily. So here's the weekly. Here's the two weekly lows I'm talking about. February 8th, February 15th. We can't take out last week's high till we get acceptance into those 2 weeks lows. And we got smacked in the face when we got to them today. In A, in D, in E, and never saw them again. So we're still down, one-time framing down in the weekly. Now here's the daily. Now I never put the 20 SMA in, but people have been putting it in. I just put it on the chart when I made new charts. Well, boy, that's exact. Not only did that coincided those weekly lows right with the 20 SMA. Now we did stop. Now people are going to say, well, we're one-time framing up in the daily. I will not consider this one-time framing up just yet. I'm considering this balance. I'm going to make it a 4-day balance, which is today's high, since we took out Wednesday's high, and Thursday's low. I'm going to consider this a 4-day balance. If we take out today's high and get some movement, I'll call it up, or I'll call it balance to up. Same if we take out today's low. I'm not going to call it down. I'll just call it balance. So again, that's what I'm looking at. Now the 50-day moving average is also 381.46. We got to 381.42 today. So there's a lot going on right in here. But there is no continuity whatsoever by buyers or sellers. Something's going to give with that. I'm telling you, we're going to come out. We're going to come out of what's going on here. Up, down, up, down. I mean, look at this. There's just no real push either way. And when we do, I expect a pretty sizable move either way. Hope you had a good day trading. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.